Have you ever heard the saying, smart man play fool fi catch wise? Well, let me tell you a story of a tricky little spider who did just that. This is the story of Anansi and the Nettles. When Anansi outwitted the tiger to court the very beautiful princess named Adwa, he still had not won his battle. The king, Mr. Ndoma, was not very pleased with Anansi's trick, for he had wanted to have Tiger as his son-in-law. So he spent many sleepless nights wondering how to stop Anansi from marrying. One day, he was looking at his herd of cows when he noticed them grazing in a patch of nettles. So he asked his headman about it. Kojo, why do you allow the cows to graze in the nettles? Don't you know it will hurt them? No, my king, Kojo replied. They are not dangerous to us, but the cows love to eat them. Are you sure? Asked the king, as an idea came to him. Yes, my king, replied Kojo. Those nettles are so dangerous that I use the cows to graze them to stop them from spreading too far. What about getting someone to cut them? Asked the king. So many have tried and failed, my king, that we have given up hope on ever finding anyone that would be able to clear them, said Kojo. Well, don't give up just yet, Kojo. I think I know someone who will be eager to do it. Kojo looked at the king in surprise, but said nothing. The next day, the king sent for Anansi. Anansi, you want to marry my daughter? Your daughter Adwa? Oh, yes, my king, said Anansi, wondering what the king was up to. I would dearly like to marry her. Okay, said the king. You can do so with all of my blessings. But what, my king? Asked Anansi, trying not to look too happy. Oh, nothing much. You are very good with a machete, aren't you? Well, yes, my king, very good. Some say that I am the best. Did you want something done? Asked Anansi quite eagerly. Well, now that you mention it, the king said, shifting on his royal throne, the royal headman has told me that there's a bit of problem with some nettles. Why don't you clear them for me? After all, you are going to be in the family when you are done. Anansi looked dazed, but forced a smile. But king, Anansi tried to speak, but the words stuck in his throat. Now, Anansi, I know you, Anansi. I know that you are a man who likes a great challenge. So I will allow you to chop those nettles without itching. That's a very good idea of yours. And no cheating either. Adwa will be watching. And with that, the king got up and left Anansi to figure out what to do. That night, Tiger came to Anansi's house. When Anansi saw him, he ran to the top of the roof. Hoy there, Anansi. It's me, Tiger. Anansi's not here right now. Come back later, Anansi called out in his best imitation of his elder sister's voice. Look, Anansi, I know you are up there somewhere, so stop your foolishness and come down, said Tiger. I may be weak, but I'm not stupid, retorted Anansi. I am not coming down. All right, have it your way, said Tiger. I just want you to know that I will be there when you fail tomorrow. And where will you hide? Don't worry about me, Tiger, said Anansi. I will be the king's son-in-law tomorrow, and what will you do? Keep hiding in the forest? Anansi, you come down here right now if you dare, Tiger said. Tiger, you are really fool, said Anansi. I know I'm safe here, so don't try to tell me that I'm going to be safe with you. All right, said Tiger. Just remember that I will be there, watching you tomorrow. Then he walked off, his long tail swishing angrily. The next day, Anansi put on his working boots and set off to the nettle patch. Along the way, a crowd gathered to watch him pass. Some people gave him encouragement, while others jeered him as being foolish. As he reached, he saw that a great number of people were waiting to see whether he would be able to cut the nettles without itching. Anansi felt afraid of failing, but kept on walking, knowing that he could never marry Adwa without fulfilling his part of the bargain. Anansi went into the patch and started chopping. As he chopped, he felt the nettles touch his bare skin, but he refused to scratch. Finally, he could bear it no more, and he stopped. What's the matter, Anansi? Called the king, knowing that the nettles must have hurt Anansi. Would you like to scratch that spot where it itches? The crowd laughed, but Anansi stood there wondering what to do. Then it came to him. Gesturing to a nearby herd in the king's finest cows, Anansi said, My father, I was wondering if you could give me that cow when the princess and I are married. Which one? Asked the king, quite enjoying himself. The one with the mark on its leg about here. And as he said that, Anansi pretended to point to a spot on his leg and scratched it without anyone seeing him. Okay, said the king, but you will have to finish chopping first. All day long, Anansi pointed to cows and asked questions about them as he scratched the spots where the nettles touched him, until he was finished. When he was finished, the king was forced to allow him to marry Adwa, and they lived happily ever after. Tiger, seeing that he could not touch Anansi, went off into the forest to plot his revenge, waiting for his time. And that is why old people say, smart man play fool fi catch wise.